Alright, everyone. So I said this was a sort of important aspect of the game here, this historical notes thing. And that will explain why I went and did a Let's Play of this game for International Women's Day. Let's just jump right into it. So, I will read it out loud. Modern society aboard the Mugunghwa is based on the Joseon dynasty, one of the most brutally oppressive eras for women in Korean history. The dynasty was characterized by its long-term enactment of a highly regressive social program. It ended up transforming what had been a fair society into an incredibly stratified, stagnant, oppressive exaggeration of traditional Confucian ideals. Some of the details of Mugunghwa society are fanciful. The low fertility rate, the pale bride's injury, the large number of women's letters which were saved, the small royal family, or the idea of a woman maintaining as much power as mute, but most are not. In the most important ways, this is what society really was like. The beliefs expressed are not exaggerations. They are often understatements. So, just think back to how limited women were, how little they were expected to be, to do in society. Well, in the game. And that is frequently understated. Just, well, I guess this idea about not being an ass to servants would have been an would have understated the feudal, stratified, oppressive nature of the society. But a society like this has existed. So, what I was getting at here is, I mean, many of the people who were, okay, maybe not many, but some, let's just call them vocal people who describe themselves as feminists. Many people, including less vocal, less radical feminists disagree with. Oh, now I completely lost track of what I was saying there. Oh, I'm sorry. But the point I'm saying... Okay, let's try this. Feminism has been given a bad reputation by some vocal people. And I do not describe the mass rate of feminists in that sentence for a good reason. Specifically, there are a set of ideas or ideals. I mean, feminism is an ideology after all. I mean, you can't have an ideology with just nebulous, fanciful, fluffy. Hey, let's just call ourselves this, and everything's and everything I say is law. That is not how feminism should work. That's not how any ideology should work. And that has caused... Well, okay, I'll come out and say it. That has caused problems for sane feminists. Ooh, the burn. Ooh, the hate mail I guess I might get. But, I mean, just take that statement for what it is. I would like to agree with feminism overall. Because I do care about equal rights. Some of those vocal feminists, or alleged feminists, don't. They're just in it for, well, I guess the only way to describe it is female supremacy, and that's not progress. I mean, they often describe themselves as progressives, okay, if you want to call it that, but I mean, the society some of those supremacist feminists seem to advocate for is a step towards what we have in this game. Now, I honestly and unashamedly think feminism is an important ideology to, well, maintain. I mean, that there's, feminism at its best looks out for women's rights. Not necessarily, I don't use the term equal rights here, but women's rights. That has been what the movement has specialized in from the beginning, because women hasn't always had most of the same rights or privileges or responsibilities, and that is critical. Responsibilities. That is a really critical word to keep in mind here, that men have had during history. Whether that is achieved today, I mean, different people will have different opinion of that. I think we've come, at least here in Sweden, a pretty long. Well, I think we're pretty much there. I mean, there are still problems. Yes, I will admit that. But in terms of just legislation and codified rights, I think we're in a really good shape. So 3 cheers for that. Let's just not go the other way, so that we, instead of this terrible, horrible patriarchal society, get a terrible, horrible matriarchal society. Let's see, I feel I'm kind of starting to ramble here, so I'll just leave it. So I'll just switch tracks here. And hopefully, if someone has any further questions about that, well, rant or something, there's a comment section for that. I will do my best to answer. I promise I will not close off the comment section. I will be very much excited to have traffic at all. Oh, the joys of being a small-time YouTuber. But yeah, okay, so that's the other thing. I mentioned something involving analytical, well, psychoanalysis, I guess. I am going to be upfront with something here. I am a musician turned molecular biologist, or something. I still haven't graduated, but who cares? I know fuck all about psychology. Just so we're clear on that. Do not take anything I say seriously if, well, for any reason. Just engage me in discussion about what I say. But it's not gonna stand up in any kind of court. So the thing I am concerned with here is this whole discussion about patriarchy and specifically gendered behavior. Now, as I said, I am a student of molecular biology. I'm almost done. Part of the program has involved an introduction in the behavioral sciences. So whatever people like to say, gendered behavior is absolutely a thing in biology. Many progressives make the mistake that to believe that everything we say and do is based on rational thinking. I see absolutely no reason to believe that to be the case. Really, I can only just well, here in Sweden we we sometimes describe this as cutting something off at the ankles. That's pretty much it. I completely reject that idea. We are still, at the end of the day, subject to hormonal surges. Hormones affect our behavior. You are not going to get away from that. That is a thing. That is... yeah. It happens. Deal with it. So gender behavior is a thing. But conditioning and cultural conditioning is also a thing. And yeah, I'll just limit myself to one thing, one little aspect of this. In present-day Western society, we often hear people horrified about how little girls, little girls, well, yeah, okay, they are little, and I'm going into slightly gray zone territory here because I am going to ignore what the law says here and focus on biology. Another thing that is, well, a thing, at least in birds, search images is what they call it in the book. That is how the course book described how birds know what to eat. And I am going to go out on a really thin and shaky limb here and suggest that male sexuality and in many, well, in at least some ways, women's sexuality are, well, I guess I should use the word triggered here, or activated maybe. So okay, there's a bit of extra here that I'm just not going to go into, but what I wanted to get to was how we like to moralize about how really young women tend to start wearing revealing clothes, like cleavage, figure hugging pants, and well, all that stuff. I am going to suggest that that is a gendered behavior in women. Well, just as a point of discussion, I'm going to make that statement. Take that as just an idea, an hypothesis, not a statement of fact. Because I have done no research, I do not know anyone who has. That is backed up purely by anecdotal observation. Well, anecdotal evidence and my own observations. So, no statistics, perform no t-tests, no sample sizes or anything like that. It's just anecdotes. Discuss it with me or with your friends, with your family, with women relatives, with your daughters, sisters, brothers, anything you like. Just discussion, no fact, just talk. And then the male sexuality would then respond to women's shapes. Well, typical lady shapes. That is the What I'm specifically referring to here is the rounder hips and breasts and other anatomical or well, okay, maybe not anatomy as such as the well, you know, there are little subtle differences between women's and men's bodies, and yeah, like how women have the slightly thinner waists, which could be a yeah, consequence of having the wider hips, of course, but also the torso scene. I think at least that women's torsos generally have a sharper, well, I wouldn't say, well, some kind of a tilt, I guess, from the shoulders down to the waist than men's bodies typically do, but I am mostly judging by myself compared to other women, and spoiler alert, I am yeah, straight as a plank from shoulders down. Yeah, I don't have a lot of muscle or lard or any other kind of padding, so yeah, maybe other men have some kind of bigger tilt. I mean, and there's also roundness of the shoulders, elbows, and shape of the. I think even the arms are slightly differently shaped. I mean, slightly rounder in women, and of course, legs being what they are. What I'm getting at is I suspect that it is a gendered behavior for women to dress in revealing clothes once they have, well, a sex drive, pretty much. Once they are approaching sexual maturity, that whole thing starts happening. That is my idea, my hypothesis, my point for discussion. I may be completely wrong. There is also, as I said, the issue of cultural conditioning. There is an expectation in society that women go along with this. This is fashion. And women seem to be more about social hierarchies and following trends than men seem to be. Again, this is just my observation, anecdotal support, nothing that would hold up as facts. Again, I want to be upfront about that, just so we are very much clear that I am not trying to spout any facts here. This is all conjecture. And if I forget to say seem or appear to, or I think in some cases, and just flat out seem to state that it is, that something is, just keep that in mind. I don't know any of this. This is pure speculation on my part. So it would be a gendered behavior for women to go along with these trends. And well, yeah, I wasn't going to go. Actually, I think maybe I should just stop it right there. I mean, this is obviously not my area of expertise, and it would make really no sense for me to go deeper into this. So, actually, I think I'll end it there. So, the point there about women dressing, okay, well, let's just call it provocatively, just so we have some kind of common language for it. That could be both gendered behavior triggered by women's sexuality, or it could be cultural conditioning. Both could be the case, but the main idea there is to just blame. To just state that women's clothing habits is a result of some kind of patriarchy. That is just a too simplistic explanation to be at all true. Other people have made observations on this topic. I think you should especially check out Liana Kirchner. Whether you agree with her or not, she's really insightful, and I subscribe to her myself. And what she says about feminism, that's gospel as far as I'm concerned. Her feminism is it receives my seal of approval. And okay, yeah. I think I have said everything I want to have said about this. So you can see here that there is some references here. So yeah, you can. So this is books they have. Studies, or at least they have studied to base the story of this game on. So I will leave it with that. So use the comment section for discussion, and let's be civil. And I think I will go back to playing Shining Force 3. I haven't, at the point I'm recording this, I haven't quite finished that Let's Play. I can't be sure I will have finished it by the time this is uploaded. I doubt I will though, because fuck university. And I hope I haven't frightened away every audience I've ever had yet. And maybe you will return for my next Let's Play, whatever that will turn out to be. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, this has been, educational. Bye for now.